Hi, today I would like to talk to you about Mr. Süleyman Demirel, who is one of our former presidents. Süleyman Demirel is one of the very well-known Turkish political leaders. He had been in politics for almost half a century, since the first half of the 1960s, as the leader of a political party, as prime minister, or the president of the Republic of Turkey. Demirel formed 6 governments during his political career as the prime minister and held the presidency of Turkish Republic between the years 1993 and the year 2000. So, during his political career, Demirel served for over 13 years as the prime minister and for 7 years as the president. He was in politics when J.F. Kennedy was the 35th president of the United States in the early 1960s. And he continued to be in politics until the times of George W. Bush, who served as the 43rd president of the United States of America until 2008. In Demirel's word, he has left his prints either as politician or bureaucrat in the 50 year of 85-year-old Turkish Republic. The political life of Demirel coincides with and carries the prints of the important changes and transformations in Turkey and in the world over 4 decades. Süleyman Demirel was born and spent the first years of his life in a village in the province of Isparta, a city located in the southern western part of Turkey. Then he climbed the ladder of political career to become the number 1 in Turkey, the president of the Republic of Turkey. This is in fact the success of Turkish Republic in ensuring equal opportunity for all and thus allowing vertical mobility for each of her citizens. Atatürk, the founder of the Republic of Turkey, saw the villager as the master of the nation, and as a villager, Süleyman Demirel himself rose to the top by taking the modern education of the Republic. This has proved that an ideal which theoretically exists in contemporary societies works in real life as well. In Turkish political life, the model of Demirel can also be seen as a good example of loyalty to the leader and persistence in politics. Demirel came into power 6 times and had to leave his post due to the results of elections or anti-democratic interventions. Yet he never left the political race. When he was defeated, he questioned the reasons for his defeat and he started all over again. In this fiercely competitive environment, the voters had continued to show support for Demirel in the elections. Demirel indicated this situation with his self-confident statement as, "If I were unsuccessful, the history would be incorrect." Demirel's political life is full of good examples of political rhetoric. Today, Demirel's short but meaningful sentences take their place among important sayings in Turkey. To give an example, at the time of his prime ministry, in the 1970s, when he was asked about the lack of oil in the country, thereupon he replied in a reproving manner, "Was there any oil, then we drank it?" Demirel again in the 1970s made the statement expressing the situation of the elected politicians in the view of the armed forces in that time, in a simple but a strong way. "Let bygones be bygones, let's open a new white page." In the cycle when the polarization among parties was dense and his party's public base was threatened by the rightist parties, he spoke the words for Mr. Ecevit, who was Demirel's main political rival at the time in a way that the public would understand easily. If you gave Ecevit 4 geese, he would lose 3 of them till the evening. Demirel was clearly indicating that his rival, Mr. Ecevit, was not competent for the government. Demirel, who was politically banned in the 1980s, announced that he would continue his political struggle, by stating that solutions do not fail in democracies. He also addressed the ones who did not believe in his coming into power once again in this period and stated that the one who will experience will see it. The explanation he made for the Aegean dispute between the sides Turkey and Greece in the 1990s is another good example of a good diplomatic rhetoric that intended to relieve this serious crisis. Demirel addressed the sides who claimed that Aegean was their own lake and said that the Aegean is not a Greek lake. The Aegean is not a Turkish lake either. Nevertheless, the Aegean Sea is not a lake at all. Today, there is a university that carries his name, Süleyman Demirel University, which is located in Sparta, is today one of the best and largest universities in Turkey. The university adopted one of Mr. Demirel's sayings as a principle. I look for perfection wherever my name appears. Accordingly, the university has the goal of perfection and highest level of success in education, research, and service to the public and economy. Demirel also founded the Museum of Democracy, which is located about 15 kilometers away from the center of the city of Sparta and near İslamköy and Atabey, the towns where Mr. Demirel started his journey of life. And this museum consisted of all kinds of visual, written, recorded, or otherwise materials, and Demirel's personal belongings from his 50-year experience in politics and bureaucracy. The intent of Mr. Demirel to establish such a museum is to create a research center and library for the researchers who will trace back Turkish political life and democratic experience. Let me finish my words by giving an example to show you how powerful political figure Mr. Demirel has been in Turkish political life. Demirel, who is at the age of 86 today and has been out of active politics since 2000, can still affect the agenda even today when he makes a statement on political affairs and can get the voters and political commentators excited. Thank you.